Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shenanigans. How are you guys doing today?
Howdy.
Fantastic.
Good.
Excellent. Let's see. I don't think we need to introduce our players, but I think we do need to introduce our characters as we have a few changes. So who are we playing with today? We've already met Sir Walker. He's a staple here, and we've met Buck. But who is Stein and who is Pepperoncini?
Pepperoncini, yeah.
That one, yeah. That's a real
So
name.
it's Grimelda's brother. He's an artificer. He came over to the tavern to kind of meet the people. She said the people in here were pretty cool, go to some cool places. So she wanted me to come hang out with these guys.
Ah, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And who is Stein?
Father Stein is a cleric of Martha. He is here to heal the world of the wounds in this age of chaos as the land tears itself apart. All will come to Martha and understand the love that Martha has for all her children.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful.
A male human cleric. 2.0 cleric.
A cleric of Martha, 2.0 cleric of Martha. Excellent. I am just going to grab some tokens for you. Will, you're an artificer?
Yeah, it's a halfling with a dagger. Male, 3'2".
Okay. So if we do this, that'll be your HP, that'll be your AC, and
yeah.
you can all of these things. Perfect.
Oh, I like your new armor update, by the way, Neal. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. The sheets did get an update, and they are much superior now. Motherfucking son of a bitch, why did you not work? So why don't you, while I sort out a few mechanical things to make all of our tokens look pretty, why don't you guys tell me what's going on at the table here in Shenanigans, everyone's favorite tavern?
I hear dark tidings on the road, on the way here. This land is in despair. We're at war and the war's going poorly. So how are you?
Well, for a cleric of Martha, aren't you just a beacon of happiness?
I will heal the land, but we have to be aware of how hurt the land is before we can heal it.
Interesting. Another ale?
Yes, of course.
I forget the world's burning in here. Don't you worry.
How do you know how hurt the land is?
I hear it from the mother herself.
Heard there was an artificer here. Who would that be? That's you, Mr. New Guy over here.
I'm Pepperoncini. Yeah, that'd be me.
Pepperoncini. I would like to say that I'm a fan of painting myself. What kind of art do you create?
Oh, I usually create it in books with quills and ink.
Okay.
Sometimes we're going to try to move that on to different items, though. Hopefully onto some swords and onto some shields and stuff. We'll see how it goes. But I appreciate it. What kind of art do you partake in?
Paintings, pictures of bowls, fruits, that kind of stuff. I do that on my own time.
That's good. That's
I'll be on a
good.
good chat of it.
Great. That's wonderful.
Well, my friend, you'll have to come over and see your artwork sometime. It must be swell, especially being from such a paladin such as yourself. A lawful man must draw some truly beautiful work, following all the laws of perspective, I'm sure.
Indeed. There's lots of laws in art.
Is there?
You just named one, the law of perspective.
Well,
It's where you look one way and you're also looking the other way.
I see. Hopefully at this point my ale comes and I start to sip on my ale and sit back and begin to listen to what must be a glorious conversation.
It sounds great. Buck, do you have anything to add to this genius of a conversation?
No. Buck is avoiding this conversation reading.
Why are you reading? What are you reading?
He's studying a new spell. I think he's re-going over Melf's acid arrow, trying to understand what it does.
Well, what's it do?
I don't know.
I guess that's why you're studying it, right?
Yeah, that is.
It makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool.
Cool.
So, if you were each to wear the symbol of Martha and accept the mother into your life, the 2 rings, I will be able to cast Battle Hymn upon you were we to enter battle. Each of you would get +1 to hit and +1 bonus to AC. And it would work even if you were committed to your main god, but 2 holy people working together, 2 gods can work together. For you are the cleric of the father, I am a paladin of the father, cleric of the mother.
Okay, so it's like 2 sides of 2 coins.
Yes. 2 sides of 2 coins, yes.
I could get along with that, yeah.
That didn't go. Oh, I guess it goes to GM, which still shows up on chat. Never mind. Hey, I can control Mitaki's character.
Oh, yeah. Can you set that to me, Neal? Because that's in the character sheet. Yeah.
That's so much for being sneaky there. Oh, well.
All right, I'll take the symbol, but I'm gonna put the other one like behind me. So I'm wearing one on front and then on the other side, because in this hypothetical situation, I'm the coin.
Right. Of course, you're the coin, and there's 2 sides of you now, right? Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, you need someone watching
the
that.
on this layer. It says Shemaj or someone, Stein.
It looks like it's at the Stein.
Oh, Necker just said that. I don't know what Necker's. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I never changed.
Oh, okay, right.
Stein. Here we go. Stien. Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Yeah, sorry for being late with the character name.
Wow. Some of them even had way wrong names. One of your names was Grimelda. That's definitely not who you are.
Oh dear.
No.
There we go. This will be fixed in just a moment. All right. So you take a look around the tavern, and for the first time today, you notice basically empty. In fact, you're not even sure where this music is coming from. And as you look around, you realize it's not playing, it's just in your head. The tavern is completely empty. Even Desmond is nowhere to be found.
Ooh.
There's nothing but spiders crawling in the corners.
Oh God.
I thought Grimelda said this was the place. It was always busy in here.
Do you guys hear that music?
Oh, I thought I did.
Where's Desmond? Buck's going to stand up and go to the spiders in the corner.
It looks like there's one spider, maybe the something that I can show you that's the size of. Maybe the size of this portable speaker, It's sort of a big fellow, and it's got this large, similarly sized cocoon behind it that seems to be pulsating and throbbing.
Okay.
I want to leave. Buck turns
Which
back
door
towards
do you
the
go
preview.
out of?
Oh, this is what I say to the party.
Oh.
Well, if we're not getting served in here, I think we should leave for sure. There's just spiders. Let's get a move on.
Spider cocoons are emanating light.
Emanating light.
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of get semi-close, but still far away and take a look at them. Does it look like it's magical light, or does it look like it's like bioluminescence kind of light?
You don't see any light coming from the spider eggs.
Ooh. What are you talking about? There's no light coming from the eggs.
You can't see that?
No, I don't see any light at all.
Neal, what am I seeing?
You're seeing a web and some sort of bundled web that is like pulsing and throbbing.
But you can't see that. Okay, there's no light.
There's no light.
Okay.
No. Okay. There's just
I'm gonna point at it. It's pulsing and throbbing, actually.
At this point, I'm very unsure, and I'll just go ahead and back on it and be like, well,
Okay.
go take a look.
Okay. Let's
This guy's hearing music, he's seeing lights, I don't know what's going
I'm
on.
just gonna start following Pepper.
You hear the front door creak open somewhat, and stepping into the doorway, but not coming all the way into the building, is a man where he's about 6 feet tall, maybe 150 pounds, so tall but quite thin, somewhere in his 30s, you're not really sure. He's got this like gaunt, pale face, these big black soulless eyes. His robes are dark and tattered at the hems and covered with dirt at the bottom. He pokes his head in and looks around before settling his eyes on the four of you and craning a thin finger in your direction, beckons you towards him while saying, I'm looking for brave souls.
Buck's gonna hide behind Pepper.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay between our brave cleric and our paladin. I wanna try to stay in between them too as we approach, for sure.
Are you the souls I seek?
Yes, my son. What is the issue?
Guys, hold up. Let's not go any closer to this guy.
I walk forward.
What is your name, young one?
I'm Father Stein.
Greetings, Father Stein. I have been led to believe this is where one finds cannon fodder. I have a dangerous, death-defying mission that I would pay any gold price for, willingly. Are the four of you the ones willing?
Depends on the nature of the quest. Were it evil or good?
I need you to pick me a flower that only grows in an old tomb. Clearly nothing evil about this.
Neutral.
Only dangerous.
Fine by me.
Okay.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
For payment, my friend, we'll discuss this when we return. Maybe the journey will help me set a price. If I don't know what's ahead of me, it's hard to make a number.
True.
I do prefer to make my deals up front. I wouldn't want you to have an excuse to abandon our pact and take what I have sent you for yourself.
Well, then are you going to pay us up front, or are you going to pay us when we return? Because you're not paying us till we return. What's to stop us from taking it then anyway?
Oh. Would you lie to a man?
No, but that's why I'm telling you the truth. We can set the deal when I return.
Well, then. He, still not having entered the building, reaches his wrist through the door frame and holds it out for you to shake. A handshake is enough to settle my concerns.
Don't shake it! Don't shake it!
And I will slowly lean in to Stein and kind of push him so he starts walking forward.
I go forward and shake the hand. Accidentally.
Yeah, they are cold, gnarly fingers that grasp you with surprising strength. Would you make me a willpower check?
Oh, okay. Sure thing. Ooh.
Okay. Ooh. Wow, the person with nothing below a 15.
14. I got a 14 perception.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's only 4 17s, a 14, a 15, and a 16. Sorry.
317. It's not 417.
I mean, he's only 15 points off of all 18s. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Neal.
Yeah.
Having like a depressed moment looking at my stats just now.
What do you do?
My highest stat is 13. I've got 5 in dex. Like,
You know what, though? Buck has lived through everything. It's not about the stats. It's about the
Adventure.
dice.
About the prowess.
All right, so as he goes up and approaches the door, I want to get close behind him. So we're close to the door now, right?
Yes, you guys can be standing around the door.
Great.
I'm going to ask his name. What is your name?
You can just call me Winter.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent. There is an old tomb built into a barrow, surrounded by standing stones, 10 miles south of where we stand. To find it, you must follow these explicit instructions. And he proceeds to give you sort of like a map there. You know, you walk south until you hit this tree, and from there you want to turn due east until you find a creek, and then you want to follow the creek up towards its source until, and so forth and so on. Gives you a short list of instructions that will take you to these standing stones, around which a barrow is built, and inside which is the tomb.
How old would these barrows be for the breaking?
Is that important information you need?
Well, if it's pre-breaking, then I think it's fine to enter. But if it's post-breaking, I would have some issues.
We are not here to rob a tomb or steal anything from it. Just the flowers that grow deep inside in the dark, sunless area.
Very well,
And you
Mr.
really like this special someone of yours.
Yes, I have a need for the death lily,
Very
he
well.
says. Licks his lips as he mentions that, and his 4-inch tongue sort of like swipes the bottom of his nose and reaches the base of his chin at the same time.
Ugh.
Excellent. So, I shall see you back here in a few nights.
If we survive, yes.
We shall discuss payment at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Very well, friend.
He gives you a brief nod and heads out that way.
I give him a big smile as he leaves. And I would like, can I roll ancient history to see if I know anything about this place we're going?
Sure. What is your area of specialization within ancient history?
Oh, do I have to, never mind then. Give me 5
Well,
minutes
you
to
get
read them.
to. I mean, you get to decide. You could specialize in ancient tombs of Drekis at this point, right?
Right. Yeah. It'd probably be magical items and stuff in the area. If I would know if any magical items would be in tombs that have death lilies around them. That's probably more realistic.
Ancient magical items is what your specialization is. Okay.
Right.
Give me your ancient history check to come up with what, there's a lot of ancient magical items in this area. Plenty of them are buried in tombs. Most of them are. And most of these tombs have been lost to history, otherwise they would have been picked up already. So it is very reasonable that there's something magical in this tomb.
Okay. And then, so can I use a local history check to see if I know of any of these local tombs around, if there's any areas where these could be?
Sure.
Because I know kind of the area he described. Can I see if there's anything around in these areas locally?
Yes.
Uh,
All the local the tombs in this area that you are familiar with are ones that have already been looted, I guess I want to say. People have been there, and that's how you. That tomb is actually in that spot. Oh, wonderful! Now I can correlate this magic item with this tomb with this person, and you can get these details. But you're not familiar of anyone in the region that he has described. So that means it must be a non-discovered ancient tomb.
So using both those together, can I kind of do the inverse? If I know which ones have been discovered and I know which ones haven't, can I reduce it down to a smaller number, or there's still too many to know which one it is?
Yeah, you could reduce it down to 4 significant magical tombs, or tombs that are supposed to hold magical items, something like that.
Okay. In any of these magical tombs, are there any items that are going to immediately obliterate us? Is there anything I need to worry about, like instant death, like should never go, like not even worth pursuing?
No.
Okay. Then
because
I'm
no
good
one
to go.
ever comes back from those tombs to report about them.
Okay, perfect. That makes sense.
Neal,
So, well, yeah, there's magical tomb. I'm definitely down. Let's get going.
can I roll, like, I have proficiency in arcanology, alchemy, and herbalism. Can I roll to see, like, what the lily would be used for?
Yes. Give me an herbalism check. Or hell, you can give them all to me. Because they all seem to be appropriate.
Yeah.
So death lilies they don't really have any herbal uses. They're just like interesting flowers. So you don't know anything about them in that regard. In alchemy, they are useful in like warding spells to keep, or in warding powders that some alchemists use that they claim will fend off the undead or at least keep them away from you. These are dubious claims at best, but perhaps true alchemists can make this work. Most alchemists are charlatans.
Yeah.
And in arcanology, death lilies are one of the things that you would use when trying to identify an old body. It would be a component, a possible component in like a speak with dead spell or any of these other clerical spells usually. No, I guess this is arcanology. Any sort of divining spell that would be specifically dealing with learning about the dead.
Okay.
It's usually one of those things that you can toss in to amplify the power of a spell.
Mm. Okay. Cool.
So due south, just follow these directions. South until the tree, then turn east, then to the creek to the source, then so on and so on.
All right.
Right. So the bar's empty.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that a concern for you? No? You guys are cool to just bounce?
Well, it could become a concern, but I feel like if we focus on that concern too much, we're not going to get to it too.
This place unsettles me, and I just arrived here. I have no need to stay in this strange place.
I'm kind of the same. It's my first time being in here. It's kind of weird. I want to get out.
It's usually pretty empty.
Yeah.
Like this? It's usually like this? Y'all come into this place to hang out?
Isn't there usually a bartender or something?
Yeah, there's
We come in, people leave.
these spiders.
I'm very confused.
Let's walk around town a little bit. See
Very well.
who's out and about.
All right. You guys step out into the streets of Berkshire. Let's move ourselves over to the other map. And as you walk on out, you can see the sun setting. The streets are kind of quiet because it's getting on towards evening time now. Although you're not sure if it was... How long have you been in Shenanigans now? I mean, we sort of just hopped into game, but when did you guys get here?
I don't remember.
It was probably later in the day, probably right after dinner. Came up here to meet some people, so sun's going down. Haven't been here too terribly long.
I slept my afternoon classes, came after lunch.
What are your grades like, man?
I don't know. Not that great.
No, I don't know is an answer some people say in college is I don't know what my grades are. That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
Get any extra credit for some hands-on experience in an apprenticeship to adventurers?
I just get real life experience.
Okay.
Excellent.
Hey, what's level 3 like equivalent to your classmates anyway? They all level 1?
I don't know. My backstory is like all my classmates died.
Oh yeah,
That's all my rock.
that Hydra thingy.
Top of your class, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we can't see anybody?
Is there anyone on the streets at all?
No, it's pretty empty. You look up and down the road. The market's closed for the night. The streets are empty.
Okay.
You detect evil, Sir Paladin.
Looks pretty fine to me.
Oh, okay. I believe you. Like, I'm going to believe a paladin if they say that.
I just look around. Seems okay.
Are you sure, Mr. Paladin? Holding right behind him, making sure he's in front of me, like half of my body, like peering around him. This is fine? This is normal?
Can I step into the Big Ben's brothel?
No, it's closed for the day. There's a closed sign hanging out front, sort of cockeyed. You can peer in the windows if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Woo!
27, that's fantastic. You can see the dishes piled up on the tables, but they haven't been bussed back to the kitchen. There's a few pots of stew still on the counter, because it's like a buffet style thing, that have been left there. There's a few flies buzzing around the pots as if they've been sitting for a little while. You hear some creaking coming up from upstairs, like there's people walking around on the second floor, like the proprietors have just left all the dirty dishes down here and gone upstairs.
Deal with it in the morning. Good strategy.
I wonder what they're doing.
Well, do you want to leave tonight or leave in the day to this? Well, I guess it doesn't matter because it's underground, the objective. But this town is so creepy. Has it always been this way?
No.
When did it begin being like this?
I'm gonna take like some pebbles from the road and just like throw them up and try to hit the second windows. Where
Give me a roll to hit.
Way.
I guess if you have a handful of pebbles, give me like 4 rolls to hit.
Okay. I have 5 decks.
Perfect.
Oh, I guess that's 3.
That's 3, but a few of them hit the window, they clatter against it, and the window opens, and Big Ben sticks his head out the window and looks down at you and goes, "What is it? What do you need?"
Nothing.
I look up and go,
Students, stop being pranks. Sorry, sir. We'll escort this
Sorry, sir.
young man home.
where is everybody? Where's everyone gone?
What do you mean?
Look up and down the street. Aren't there usually some people still out and about? It's not that late.
He gives a shrug and closes the windows.
Wait, what time is it, Big Ben?
He's inside already. You can't hear him.
Darn it. He's usually so good on his times.
I guess it's just a weird day.
Must have been all spun out. Probably needs to get recharged.
All right, well, I am kind of interested in doing this because
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in going. Can we not get on the way?
I recommend we visit the temple first and I bless our party, then we head out. Because it will confer an extra +1 to the blessing.
Sure.
So let's go to the town temple and I cast Bless upon everyone, which will mean you got +2 on saving throws. Your very next saving throw.
How much +2?
Oh, if I get into the temple, that is.
Yeah. Let's check out.
You head to the temple, and there seems to be a large mass going on there. The clerics are out front, or a cleric is out front, kind of chanting. There's a bunch of people gathered around on the steps of the temple, kneeling in prayer. And you can see inside there are more people with like a channel between them heading back to the main altar at the back of it, where there are some more clerics, but the mass of people makes it hard to see the details going on inside.
Ah, this is where everyone went, the temple. What a good town. The mother will be pleased. And I do the rings of Martha.
I'm looking at this mass of people outside. Do they look like are they all chanting pretty well in unison, or are there some people off? I mean,
no, that's not in unison. You know, they're all like kneeling and bowing. Some people are chanting, some people are not chanting, and they're not doing it in unison. It's sort of just like a murmur.
Right. So it seems more like a church service, not as an enthrall kind of thing, right?
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm fine with it then. I'm gonna hang out right behind the paladin because we're going into a temple. This seems like the best person to be next to.
It seems like our revolution last week was pretty successful. Look how poised everybody is now.
There was a revolution here last week.
Romelda said it was quite dangerous. She came back so wounded, but she's doing well now.
I didn't hear anything about this.
Well, Buck, you might have been in class that day.
Maybe.
All right. Can we step into the temple? Is there a way in?
There's a big service here. Why, if you're going to go in the temple, you're going to be in the middle of interrupting their service.
Well, can we go to the back left or back right?
I guess. You get some weird...
Inside.
Why don't we just
There's like a big service going on that's taking up not only the whole temple, but like people are spilling out onto the steps. So if you're going into the temple in the middle of...
I misunderstood. I wouldn't actually... I've got etiquette. I wouldn't do that.
Right.
I've got etiquette efficiency. So
I feel like this is a church service, right? This is like a Christmas church service. There's people everywhere.
There's
like,
something big going on.
Can I investigate it?
Yeah, so Paladin, you live in this town. What is happening here?
Stein, have you considered that maybe the real temple was inside your heart all along?
Always, Sir Walker, always. Two sides of the two coins.
There we go.
I'm super nervous at this point. My character is on like complete edge. These people are crazy. I don't know what my sister's been doing, what she's been talking to.
Can Buck like look through the windows of the temple?
Sure, you want to go to the side of the temple and pull yourself up and look through these windows? Of course. Yeah. What do you look on in and you see that there seems to be some sort of funeral going on. There's a sarcophagus or a casket at the very front that 4 clerics are standing around, chanting and intoning while various people come to pay their respects. You recognize a cleric of Tempos, a cleric of Verasi, a cleric of... I need my list of gods really quickly. Pantheon.
Exclamation mark.
What are my gods? A cleric of Felumbra, and a cleric of Velmontarius, all standing around.
Velmontarius.
Okay.
Interesting choice.
I'll glance around looking for this guy that hired us.
You don't see him. He left ages ago.
Like he could walk on holy ground anyway.
So I'll come back and I'll...
Just because you're old doesn't mean you got stuff wrong with you. Sometimes people just look that way, man. Okay?
Yeah.
No reason to be hateful.
So there's like a dead guy in the church and everybody's like, I guess it's the funeral that's going on here.
All right. Well, let's leave them to their funeral.
Yeah. Well, the death lily is used in like undead magic and kind of used to like boost other magics. I don't know.
Speaking of the dead is not inherently an evil act.
No. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to talk to your dead relatives. I think this guy's just old and wants to talk to some people on the other side before he goes. I see nothing wrong with this flower.
I do think like this guy might be involved with a lot of money though, so.
Well, he obviously has money he's willing to spend because he's about to die. He's willing to give it all away. He just needs a last little bit of closure. We're just helping this guy out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking is happening here. Let's go to that tomb where there's definitely not magic items.
All right. You know stealing, but anyway.
No, would never steal.
Good.
Never.
There's a problem though. He said that the tomb was 10 miles south of where we are. But if that's the case, if we go 10 miles south, how will we ever get to the tomb?
But he said he gave us directions to 10 miles south, so it will actually get us around there eventually. We'll go around from the bottom.
Because if we're down
So
there,
we won't be south and we'll be north.
Walker,
what if we go 10 miles north?
Walker.
Then the tomb will be at Shenanigans.
Yeah.
But he gave us directions, so we have to go to the end of the creek, then we circle around. That will actually make us lower than it, so we'll actually get there before it becomes south anymore. It won't be south anymore, it won't be 10 miles south.
Mm-hmm. It'll be okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We walk backwards towards the tomb. Okay.
Yeah, that does not seem advisable, Sir Paladin.
Okay.
Sir Walker.
I'll do it. You got the brains. I got the also brains.
Yes, Sir Paladin. And I realize the gods bless this man for a very specific reason.
Of course, Sir Walker. Shall we set out now?
Absolutely.
All right. Everyone have their provisions?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
You
Let's
head
follow the
out
direction.
in the evening as the sun sets towards a tomb. I'm going to need one of you to be our pathfinder, and you're going to make a wisdom check to follow the directions well enough to make it to where you need to go. Who wants to be the pathfinder?
I got 16. Will anyone better?
No.
No. What do you mean?
Okay. There we go. 24.
All right. It takes you many hours to follow this path while you're in the forest in the night. You travel at quite a slow rate.
Oh, we've got I got light pebble.
Music. Still, you gotta cut. You carry the
Yeah,
light
fair
pebble in
enough.
front of you. The person behind you gets. There's some shadows.
Yeah.
You know how it is with one person's
Yeah,
got a flashlight and you're walking through
I'm
the
just
woods.
saying, I would not walk in the pitch black. That's all I meant.
That's great. That'd be even worse. All right. And as you approach on towards the area, you come across a tomb or a burial mound, sort of exactly what you would have been expecting. I'm just going to move these tokens onto here.
Are those standing
can
stones like
see-
described?
Where is Buck? Yes, is the answer though. Here's
Yes.
Buck.
You're the expert on
Do you have
tombs.
4 HP at level 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I balance out McTaggy.
All right. This is what
so
you
we-
find that night. This pile of stones, some of them knocked over, everything overgrown, leading down to a large barrow below. The area around you is all dark except for the light stone, and you cannot see into the barrow whatsoever.
Are there any markings on any of these stones out here so I can maybe identify the tomb?
Yes, there are markings on these stones. Absolutely. Which stone would you like to inspect?
I would like to start with this one right here and then work my way to what would be my left and then around these stones kind of a way.
Sure. This first stone right here that has a clear marking of a skull on it. And it's not just one skull, it's like a stack of skulls carved into it. Each one slightly different. Different enough that it's not just like the mistake of the carpenter's hand or the stoneworker's hand, but as if they are intentionally different skulls. Maybe like he was working from a model of various skulls to carve them into this.
Okay. Is there any writing on it at all?
Nope.
Okay. And I want to keep kind of working my way around. What about this big long one right here?
There are protective runes written on the side of it. You have... Ooh, you don't have...
I've got archaeology as well.
Give me an archaeology check. All you know that they're vaguely runes of protection, but you can't make out any details beyond that.
So I think.
Hey, Buck.
Yeah.
Come take a look at these. Can you tell what these are? I know they're for protection, but I can't quite make them out.
Yeah. Come to the superior wizard I see.
Wonderful. It's amazing.
Wow.
Buck,
But-
these are runes that are supposed to ward off evil spirits, that are supposed to protect you when you die, so that nothing bad happens to your soul or your body. And you know that at this point, like, this standing stone has been knocked over. You can see similar runes on these other stones. In this configuration, the protecting runes would be broken now that the
Right.
stones are knocked over.
So something has broken the protection on this place, obviously. So it's not. There could be undead down here.
Yeah, so Buck will be like holding his spell book, kind of like acting like he knows what he's looking at, and he's like, these are abjuration spells meant for guarding you through the afterlife. They seem to have been broken.
Well, Sir Paladin and Sir Cleric, this might be in y'all's wheelhouse if these are undead down here. Maybe y'all should take the lead.
I do have turn undead. Can you detect the evil within, Sir Walker?
All right, yeah, I'll actually use detect evil at this point.
Excellent. That's not a spell, right? That's just in detection. What is the range in which you can detect evil? Ooh. Where is Sir Walker? So you can detect evil out to here-ish. And you don't really detect any evil from where you're standing. Seems fine. Seems fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. It's good. It's good.
Okay. So I haven't really got anything about what this tomb's about. Does Sir Walker say that it's safe, or is he just chilling with that knowledge?
I mean, I say it's fine.
Okay. Well, then if he says it's fine, I'm going to keep looking over here at some of the runes that are still more intact and trying to see if there's any writing or any inscriptions on them.
This side seems to be a parallel of the other side. There are a series of skulls coming down here. It's still different from these other ones.
Okay.
And these these stones have protection runes on them as well, but they're still intact. So hopefully these ones are still working.
How heavy are the stones? Can I try to pick one up?
No, many thousands of pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Okay. Then can I slowly work my way down? Actually, I'm going to come over here to the broken side. I'm going to slowly work on the outside of these. Is there anything on the outside down here to the right?
No, the stones don't have runes or any markings on the sides of them. It was just the fronts.
Okay. I'd like to go down to this obelisk then. Is there anything on this obelisk down here in the corner?
Hold on, let's just stop right about there. Sir Walker's coming down this way. When he gets to about here, let's see.
That's a bushwhack, Neal?
I almost went down the center, man. I almost did it.
Oh dear.
Why don't we go to a break? When we come back from break, we'll find out what happens.
All right.
See you guys on the other side.
See ya.